trench for the next 5 minutes or the next half an hour, whatever it may be, and embed your way into this series. Corelli is predicting Pioneers. I'm playing it safe with FaZe Clan, but I think we'll know a little bit more in a minute or two when we see how this first game begins to shape out.
I think it really is on FaZe Clan to control this series, right? When you talk about who's going to be the biggest difference maker, who's going to control the pace of play, it has to be FaZe. If they're going to come out flat again, there's opportunity here for Pioneers.
I see. Banana head to the side. That's what I want to see from Pioneers. Attacking from the side, not just trying to fully go back and get 100 boosts. Playing in the FaZe Clan half, stealing these boost canisters. And they've started well in that regard, but first killer always has a flip reset in his pocket. And as far as Super Lucky this time, though, towards Miss. And then they're getting in each other's way, and that is the risk for Pioneers if they try and play too quick.
Yeah, and Scrub is good here to just play it slow, let it develop in front of him and get back there. He didn't have to be used immediately, but he was the first one on the back wall there. And I think slowing down the pace of play is really good for Pioneers here. Do not allow FaZe into a rhythm, into a groove. Keep it ugly, keep it awkward for them, and take advantage when the opportunity arises, because you saw that against Moist. So many open nets, so many open backfields, so many open halves from FaZe. They've been exposed against Moist, and Pioneers can certainly do the same thing.
It was old school FaZe Clan for sure, where they'd have all the pressure and then suddenly there'd be no one behind and they can see an open net. It's been a while since we've seen that version of FaZe Clan, that very frustrating version, but now we're seeing the better version of them. Just a huge launch upfield, 1-0 FaZe.
Well, it was exactly what you were saying, Cole. When you see Pioneers move up so far, that one just split between Super Lucky and Banana Head there, and nobody back for Pioneers. That's the worry here for Pioneers, is pushing up too far, overcommitting, and FaZe showing what happens when they send too many up, scoring the first goal.
And I think I saw the hint of a smile on the FaZe Clan players as well. Maybe that simple goal is exactly what they need to jolt a bit of life into this squad, which was really struggling earlier, and Pioneers are continuing to play with this incredibly high defensive line.
Wow.
They do not sit back, and look at them, the fist bumps are out now.
Coming from no control against Moist to having full control here on their second goal. Everyone getting involved there, typical earlier, and getting the touch in. That's great work from FaZe. When you see them moving the ball like that, passing to each other, and not just going for solo plays, which is great by itself, but the passing, boy, is it beautiful from FaZe, and they put away a beauty of a second goal.
I said that maybe there was some lightning in the air, a little bit of magic, but FaZe kind of doing their best to throw a blanket over the top of it and just suppress any of these sparks so far in the first 90 seconds. Pioneers have to dig themselves out of that. They've got to try and get it back. Try and get some touches. They're a little bit boosted at the moment. They're outpaced. It's FaZe Clan getting all the touches. Should be making it 3. First killer hits the crossbar. And then Miss gets 4 touches out of nowhere.
He's giggling. He knows how ridiculous that was. Oh my goodness, the
2,
flip reset.
3,
what
4,
is
5,
that?
6.
I can't count that high. There's too many.
I think that was 6 right there. Touches for Miss. And first killer, obviously he's saying, that's why I hit it on the crossbar, mate.
Yeah.
I knew that you had that in your locker. I was just making sure you got the cool goal you wanted.
So a disaster start here for Pioneers. They would get one back, but they're just not connecting on the ball.
It's a bit disappointing so far from Pioneers. I did expect a little bit more than this from them. I thought that FaZe Clan would take it pretty comfortably, but so far Pioneers are being outclassed. And it's partly their own doing. You're up against a better team, that's fine. You're going to have some goals go against you. But the fact they're missing simple touches, it just suggests to me that the pressure is getting to them. And that is something that they can control.
And psyching themselves out here. And no doubt, I think FaZe is playing a bit better here. But you can't let, I think, your own insecurities get inside your own head. As FaZe are just moving the ball wonderfully here in the midfield. Now first killer looking for 2, not going to find it. And look at the space afforded to FaZe here. No one for Pioneers to challenge. And Miss there to collect. Unfortunately, not the best touch as he gives it back to Pioneers.
Yeah, FaZe have got Pioneers pretty cornered right now, and they're pummeling into them. Pioneers aren't helping themselves. I've seen a couple of backflips and side flips. Awkward touches, but that's a little bit better from Scrub to set up Super Lucky. Maybe a goal here could just jolt some life into Pioneers. And that's what we're about to see.
And there you go. You can see them. They're yelling. That's their spark that they need here in game 1, and that's great work. Made Miss look silly defensively, and Super Lucky putting away Pioneers first.
Can they continue to build on that against the slightly vulnerable-looking FaZe Clan, at least earlier on? They've still got time to do it. They've woken up in time for this first game, which is very important for Pioneers. Got themselves on the score sheet. That's a question of keeping going. Super Lucky, just like his teammate Banana Head, who was caught a little bit too close to the ball. And now Mist, his attempted bump doesn't happen. Banana Head clears it long as well. And Pioneers, I think they've just said to themselves, let's just connect with the ball cleanly and take it from there. Big deep breath.
Big deep breath, I think. They have a lot more control. They're settled in here, putting on some good offense. Controlling FaZe in their final third because, again, you go back to that Moist game and you look what they did, letting FaZe dig their own grave. Pioneers can do the same thing. And they're starting to show it here in game one. Another shot ripped on target. First killer saving it off his corner there. Mist backed up as well. Scrub looking for some space. That's a tough bounce. Typical didn't get the read, but it comes out to Super Lucky. FaZe slow to get the touches. And another touch from Banana Head. And all of a sudden, Cole, it's a one-score game.
Now it's FaZe Clan making the mistakes. There was a man on the backboard. Super Lucky just put it right up there. First killer, you do not expect him to miss those. Well, most of us don't. Banana Head took the risk. You have to give him credit. He somehow read a first killer miss with the backboard, and he had the wherewithal to put it home.
And I think that's actually a brilliant read because you could see first killer be a little awkward there going up for that ball on the back wall. And now Pioneers looking a lot better within one. 50 seconds on the clock. Trying to keep that possession. You can see Banana Head releases himself. Can he go all the way? He might do it. Flip reset, but unfortunately a bit too far in front of the ball.
But even missing the flip reset just puts some doubts into FaZe Clan. Maybe that'll be the fourth. That will be the fourth. But it's from a flip reset attempt from Pioneers. It's from an attack forward from them. Weirdly, I don't think they'll mind that too much. I mean, this is a game that seemed dead about a minute ago. They gave themselves a chance. Probably not going to happen now. But there's so much they can take into game two if it ends like this.
Well, there's two goals exactly like this where they pressed too far and FaZe just kind of hits it over the back line or through them. It could be a tie game right now.
I mean, there's also a missed six-toucher. So you take that one out as well, and we'll call it a draw.
We can give that one a miss. You know, that was pretty good. But the point is, big mistakes, right? Defensively, overcommitting, offensively. You take those away from Pioneers, and it's been a close game. Still some time if they can get this one put away. Super Lucky trying to play it slow. Scrub's going to dive in after it, and first killer not going to be beaten that one. 10 seconds left and missed. Trying to put another one away.
An intriguing start to this first game. FaZe Clan are going to be able to see it out with a couple of goals needed and just a couple of seconds left. Even if Banana Head is able to sink this one, he shouldn't be. Have missed there, and Typical helps them out as well. Anything to take back with them in the old lunchbox for Pioneers. Now, maybe FaZe Clan can do the same and get a fifth miss. Can he put it away? No, he can't. It's 4-2 FaZe Clan in game number one, but an intriguing beginning.
Yeah.
I still am not sure what chapter 2 is going to look like in this book.
Yeah, no, I agree because it was dominance from FaZe early on, very poor from Pioneers. They made the mistakes that we kind of alluded to, right? You hit the nail on the head when you said they might overcommit a little too much, they might press up too far, and that's certainly what happened. But you got to hand it to Pioneers. I think they adapted, and I think FaZe, they're not going to have as an easy time here in game two, because I think Pioneers are kind of warmed up and acclimated to what FaZe is bringing. And
I'm sure that Rold is reminding them of that right now, saying, look, I know that it seemed easy at the start. That got not easy. There was a tricky period, and we can assume that the start of game two will be more like that. So do not rest on your laurels, lads, because we can't throw anything away. The last thing we need to do is give Pioneers easy goals.
Well, it's funny, too, because when FaZe were up 3-0 and they let in their first goal, they were kind of laughing to each other because it was the one where Miz got faked out. I think they were kind of, yanking his chain a little bit. Then the second one went in and no one was smiling anymore. They're like, okay.
It's quick.
Yeah. We can't disrespect these guys too much. And then they got their fourth and they settled back in. But you can tell that they know how much this game means. And even if they're expected to win, when that margin gets really small, all of a sudden it's like, okay, focus up again. We're not teasing each other anymore. And I think that's for FaZe, keeping that concentration is what carried this game one to the victory.
FaZe Clan may be about to get a little bit sweatier in this second game, so it's only apt that we find ourselves on Aquadome for game number two. FaZe Clan able to re-exert their dominance over this Aussie roster of Pioneers. So I'll answer the question. Super Lucky has a lovely first touch there, really nice. And, I mean, they're confident Pioneers. They're still going for the pre-jumps and both in the air, so fair play to them in that regard.
I love the idea, not perfectly executed, but those are the types of plays that you have to pull out against FaZe, right? You have to do the unexpected or the spectacular, and they're good enough to do that, no doubt. And FaZe, though, not going to fall for it that time as Pioneers trying to lock FaZe into their final third. Typical playing this one slow through one. Follow-up from Super Lucky, though, is good to deny FaZe the counter.
For a second, I didn't realize Miss was there. I thought that was going to be a FaZe Clan overcommit and conceding a goal to just being beaten to the ball, but Miss was back. as he so often is, one of the smarter players, probably the smartest player on that FaZe Clan roster. That's why he was brought in to shore up that defense and allow the attacking players to do their work. It's FaZe Clan that are attacking right now. Super Lucky to the side. Typical tries to tee up Miss, but Miss says no. Again, showing that intelligence, being patient. I think FaZe Clan realizing they're going to have to show a lot more patience in this game.
And I think on the flip side of that, Pioneers are realizing that there is going to be space for them to take an air dribble, to play it downfield and find the point man, right? That's happened a couple times. And you see Pioneers, I think, gaining a lot of confidence downfield as FaZe Clan do not get back in time.
It's almost a carbon copy of what they tried earlier, with one player going up for the air dribble and somebody else coming in behind, only this time it was Super Lucky who was following up, and this time it works.
I'm pretty sure Miss could have gotten to that. And I don't know if First Killer called him off or what. It seemed like Miss kind of slowed down near the goal line there. That's kind of why the call was a little weird for me. I thought he could make the save easy, and First Killer kind of puts it into his own net.
Well, however it happened, it is 1-0 Pioneers, at least for now. There's a chance for Miss. That's not happened. Super Lucky is met by Banana Head again. They're going for these two players up plays. It's almost worked again. FaZe Clan are just struggling to deal with this. They get the ball away this time. Pioneers certainly having a moment in this series.
Yeah. Huge hole defensively for FaZe Clan. Pioneers almost able to poke through. Now First Killer off the ceiling, looking for another one. No follow-up. FaZe Clan all pushed back. They don't want to be caught out. Typical. Looking for a way out. First Killer, no options in front of him, and not the best touch. And Scrub, this First Killer is lucky that Scrub did not have boost there.
FaZe Clan playing really passively at the moment as well. I think they're going full patience and assuming that Pioneers are going to give them chances and the ability to score goals. Maybe this is it, and maybe the patience game does work out in the end. The simple launch forward equalizes for FaZe.
And that one's a little disappointing if you're Pioneers. Scrub going back. Super Lucky had a perfect opportunity to get the read, and you just completely missed it. And you leave Scrub in such a tough spot to make that save. We're tied up.
So Pioneers is sort of showing us that they are going to be able to get goals. They'll also throw goals away.
Yeah.
So maybe expect some high-scoring games for the rest of this series, however many games it will be. Predicted 5. I'm still skeptical that'll be the case, but who knows today, Corelli?
I forget what you said. Did you say 3-1?
I said 3-0 if FaZe can get the first game.
Okay,
so I guess now I'm locked into 3-0. Yeah, exactly. I might as well walk off now. As far as I'm concerned, we all know what's going to happen here. Miss is going to almost score. First Killer was coming in, hoping to be on the end of that ball, but not quite able to. FaZe going to carry on. First Killer still up there, but the pass doesn't quite find him. And this is where Pioneers can do some damage on that counter-attack, but they do need a better first touch than what we saw from Super Lucky there. Now they're coming in. The second ball not quite falling for Pioneers at the moment. They have to be a bit more direct with these challenges.
And a lot cleaner there from FaZe sitting so deep, and so it does require Pioneers to kind of bring the ball down or take it to an air dribble as well. As Scrub's going to do just that, threatening the net and denied by Typical.
They will get a boost grab for it though, so now maybe Pioneers can have a little bit of sustained pressure, depending on that all-important first touch. Can they avoid the FaZe Clan cluster of players that are just waiting and reading what Pioneers are offering? This is another chance now for Banana Head. That's better. Into the center, into a place where Typical wasn't at it perfectly, didn't have the angle, and they can just try and focus on this challenge game until they tee each other up. Super Lucky on the backboard, and Super Lucky bangs it home.
What a look from Super Lucky, and you could tell that this one was going to be a perfect double tap for him. Look how quick he attacks the ball, and Typical diving across the net, just trying to time that challenge. It's not going to happen for him, and back into the lead Pioneers go.
Not a lot of time for FaZe Clan to equalize either. It's a great time to score for Pioneers. Perfect opportunity to retake the lead and get themselves back in the series that they have to defend, and they're doing more than that. They're reading the FaZe Clan infield passes. So maybe now FaZe Clan mix it up and go solo themselves. They've got the skills to do so. First Killer over the top. Super Lucky gets a block, and it does fall for Typical. FaZe Clan stick to the script, and they get the perfect read.
Yeah, great work there from FaZe Clan. Beat the first man with First Killer. A poor clear comes out. Typical there. Their shooter that, of course, they want in that position is there to clean things up. Slot it there to the left side. Tied up just under a minute.
We are reset all over again, where FaZe Clan get an equalizer, and Pioneers have to try and reclaim that lead. They've done it twice. Is it possible for it to happen a third time? Scrub's in the air now. Typical's meeting him early. Super Lucky's coming in. He's trying to show all sorts of pace. I'd say that Super Lucky seems most likely to break down that FaZe Clan defense.
I love the speed he's coming in with, just attacking the defense. And now he's having to play a little bit of defense. Can First Killer get a double tap? He did, but he was denied by Scrub.
So dangerous, First Killer. Any angle, any play. If he has half a second, he will do something with it. Which is what happened there. He's going again now. The flip reset, he's past one. Banana Head standing up tall. Typical can get this one out wide. That's a poor touch though, is it? It's tempting in Super Lucky, who almost took the bait, but ended up just leaving Typical to come out. A goal here would be a killer for either team. 10 seconds left.
Super Lucky giving this one away to Miss as he has no options. Super Lucky with a great read though to keep it on the FaZe Clan side. Banana Head looking for space. He's got boost to work with. Trying to go all the way across. He had a flip reset, but the defense stands tall, and into overtime we go.
It was a great effort again from KCP. He was just trying to force that angle. Not quite to be though, but it's a good kickoff here from Pioneers. Super Lucky has no one in front of him, so what we can do is slow it down and try and stay behind the ball. First kill that comes away, you do not want this man to have this much time and space on the ball. He can do anything with it. Thankfully, the Pioneers, Banana Head closed him down, and then Scrub can clear to the side. His clearance is so important for Pioneers.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think the defense is really cleaned up here from Pioneers. The clears have been so much better. His first killer now threatening, and Super Lucky all the way to the goal line to make the save. Pioneers aren't overcommitting, and that has kept them in this game. It comes across the box. This one cleared away. Now Super Lucky's got 0 boost in the tank and not able to find a way out.
Yeah, Pioneers using all their boost as soon as they get it. It seems that they grab 100 and they just use it all straight away. If you keep your eye on the boost gauge, Pioneers in the corner, so often these players are on 0, but they do manage to get the ball forwards, at least every now and then. They just have some sustained pressure. They have to keep the ball there. Is it possible when Mist is coming forward, he gets his second touch, but it's only to the side. First killer swoops his way around that ball beautifully, but can't quite cut it in.
Trying to find a way through that Pioneers defense. They've been tougher and tougher to crack. First killer wants to take this one up the wall, has a lot of boost, and that touch gets away from him. Pioneers fielding every attack wonderfully here from FaZe Clan, but they are knocking on the door, spending plenty of time on this blue side. Nothing too threatening quite yet. That one goes wide. The second touch will bail out Pioneers. Now First Killer trying to get the touch. He does to the back wall, but no follow-up from FaZe Clan.
This is panic in Pioneers every time First Killer touches the ball, and you can't blame them. He is the one who is capable of just putting the ball anywhere he chooses to. But not when he's read by a pre-jump, not when Banana Head is coming forward. Scrub tries to close down Mist, but can't do it. And for the first time in a while, Pioneers do have some control. That one's to the backboard by Super Lucky. Banana Head up again. Good pace from Pioneers. That's not been their problem for a little while. They do lose a third of their attack, but reinforcements should be arriving fairly soon. If this challenge is decent, it's not as far as Pioneers are concerned. And now it's FaZe Clan's turn again.
Oh, Scrub got bumped out of the way. Typical there to tap it in, and that bump opened up the net for FaZe Clan, and game 2
So
over to
near,
them.
yet so far for Pioneers. They just hinted at themselves getting this second game, but in the end, FaZe Clan were too strong. The game management was too good. The experience levels were too high. And what I liked about FaZe Clan there is they did not panic. And that is the sort of game where they've had a day like they've had today, where panic can set in and you do overcommit. They avoided that trap.
They definitely did. And I think for FaZe here, I think both teams actually, I was going to make the point for FaZe, but now that I think about it, both teams had done a much better job of not sending too many players downfield. They've kept their third man extra deep to not allow those open nets to go through, because both of them have sinned in this game by doing that. And I think for FaZe Clan, it has certainly paid off here to whittle away against Pioneers, who I think had solid defense here in this game too. It was just not enough here on offense to take down FaZe.
It was solid defense, but they always seemed a little bit hurried in their reads. You know, whereas FaZe Clan were diving straight at that ball, Pioneers seemed to be trying to get the touch, and to the extent where they couldn't quite dictate where the ball would go. They could get a read on it, but it's somewhere. But the speed at which FaZe Clan could get to the ball and actually choose where to send it seemed to be a differentiator for me.
Yeah, and I think for Pioneers, they did a much better job of picking up the pace when they had the opportunity, but I think it's picking that time to go. And sometimes they took awkward challenges that just didn't make sense to kind of get the offense rolling, and it opened up the space for FaZe behind them. So I think you have to be a little bit smarter for Pioneers when you choose to go on the attack, because you know you're going to feel it from FaZe. And I think those opportunities to counterattack are still there for Pioneers.
FaZe Clan are a few minutes away from getting back to normality in this Swiss and putting themselves 1-1 going to tomorrow. But they still have to do the work. They still have to score a few more goals against Pioneers, and Pioneers are learning and gaining experience of every single game against them. And they take the lead again. They took the lead twice in the last game, don't forget. You know, they were on top, but they have been. FaZe Clan, though, might change that here. Missed on the backboard, he misses. And Typical lets it bounce.
Ooh, and just for a moment there was an opportunity for Pioneers to counter with an open backfield on the FaZe Clan side. They were really pushed up there. They were all in on that missed touch that never came. Ooh, great takeaway from Super Lucky. That one just high of the net. Typical, make sure it doesn't go through as Mist barrels through his baseline, trying to push this one out. And does well here to get it over to first killer. Pioneers that felt the pressure nicely and break out. Typical again denying. FaZe Clan doing well on these clears, something that they struggled with against Moist. Just find the space and away from Pioneers.
So far the Pioneers boost control has been a little bit better than the last game as well. I've been noticing they're often keeping about 70 from at least 2 players, as opposed to one having 100 and the other 2 0. So players can come in and support the attacks. We can get some more airborne players at the same time. That's what we're seeing here as Scrub goes to the top. Typical has to just flip that one away. And Banana Head is there for it. Pioneers have started this game just a little bit better.
Yeah, and I think the longer that Pioneers can stay on FaZe Clan's side, the better off they're going to be. Because again, we've seen FaZe Clan dig their own grave. And if you can keep the pressure on them, they will make the mistakes. We've seen it already. We've seen that in multiple tournaments and multiple iterations of FaZe.
Banana Head takes the catch. First killer up in front of him. First killer manages to get that challenge to Typical, but again, it's read by Pioneers. Few of these second balls going to a FaZe Clan player cleanly right now, but that one has, and it's to miss. Super Lucky at the near post gets the save, but then it's taken out the game. But Typical misses as well, and that's going to really slow FaZe Clan down right when they were putting in some danger.
Yeah, opportunity there wasted. This one gets to the back wall, and again, the back wall is completely closed on the FaZe side. There's someone there to meet it. This miss going straight into Banana Head. He'll take him out. Time here for Typical, and maybe not that much time. He was playing it quite slow. It pinches out towards Pioneers.
Pioneers always looking for a second player when they get these touches, these clearances. Going to somebody on the transition, but it doesn't matter how well you defend when first killer has just this much boost.
That's the trump card. It's first killer. And when he beats Scrub, Super Lucky knows he's beat. I mean, there's just no way he can get the read on it. It happens so quick, too. He's coming off your back wall in such a tight angle. First killer coming through and showing his stuff.
First killer can do it to the best defenders in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no shame in conceding a solo play to him. You just have to keep on going. They're able to. Typical gets around that one to the backboard. Scrub gets a good touch for a second. It looked like the ball was evading him, but he managed to get something on it. There's a demo by Banana Head on a FaZe Clan attacker, so that should slow FaZe Clan down for now. Scrub, oh, I thought he'd won that race for the boost for a second, but it actually was first killer that got there. Now heading to center red as well. Yeah, FaZe Clan right now reading everything Pioneers are sort of chucking at them.
Even with Super Lucky bouncing off of 2 players there in FaZe, it was not enough to move them out of the way. Pioneers trying to get the physical game going. They don't get too many demos. They're at 2 here in this game.
Pioneers attack is very central. Have you noticed every hit they're making from the center is just going right down the middle? I'd love to see them aim for the angles a little bit more. Try and get an awkward bounce on the corner. Just try and cause a bit more chaos because FaZe Clan always have a man back and they are just swallowing that up each time.
They don't seem to like playing in the corners that much, do they? They kind of push or pull off when they go into the corners. It's a much more conservative approach from them. But some good possession here, unfortunately cleared away now by Mist as FaZe relieve their defense for the moment. Super Lucky denied by Typical. Scrub wants to bring this one down, get some possession, get some control here in game 3. Scrub can't get through Mist. Now Super Lucky looking for options inside the box, wants to take it himself, and again, no one there to follow up for Pioneers. Allows FaZe to get out.
Yeah, as soon as it gets to the middle, FaZe Clan just eating it up all day long. Mist, on the other hand, he booms it towards Typical in that corner, then he gets the ball back. This could be the end of the series. Not quite. Super Lucky again, straight down the middle though. That's where first kill is waiting. Missed high, trying to tee up Typical. Typical's following up. It's just chance after chance right now for FaZe Clan. Pioneers like a little bit out of ideas. Is someone going to be brave enough just to take a risk in these final 40 seconds?
It's just not creative enough from Pioneers right now. Even the touches to each other are getting cut off just like that. Mist taking it away with the pass, and here's an opportunity for Super Lucky. Banana Head also getting in the way of first killer. First killer still on the ball, still getting it out for FaZe.
That was so awkward, and he still landed perfectly on the backboard, managed to jump out with minimal boost and stay behind the ball just to make sure there was no follow-up shot. Brilliant to the end from first killer, but we are at the end, and there are more chances for Pioneers. First killer is behind the ball, but he's lost out to Super Lucky, who has no boost, but he does have Mist in his target sights. That one though, that pinch goes all the way back to the Pioneers half. Time's getting away for them. This has to be it. After 5 minutes of not enough creativity, they have to show some now, and there's no one in the middle. FaZe Clan just blocking off every single avenue that Pioneers may have had, and a very clean victory in the end. for FaZe Clan.
And you were right, Cole. I got to give it to you. Brilliant analysis from you. FaZe Clan winning game 1 and FaZe Clan 3-0 here against Pioneers, sending them to 0-2. FaZe will be 1-1 in the Swiss stage. And I don't know how you feel, Cole. I'm actually interested in this, in the answer to this question. Do you feel like this was a series where FaZe kind of bounced back, if you will?
No, I think it was a professional victory by the better team, you know, which is fine, and that gives you, you know, a string to your bow, and that gives you a bit of confidence. But it's not like coming up against a Gen G or, you know, someone that is their equal and performing, and everyone going, yeah, FaZe Clan are back. So I think they beat the opponent in front of them. That's all you can do. So well done to them in that regard. But I still think that when they go into their 1-1 match, whoever they face will be fancying playing FaZe Clan at the moment.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't think they crushed them in the way that I would expect the team to kind of bounce back and get back into form. But I do think that this was a 3-0, which is what the best you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a win, which is the best you can do. And it's a much better look here for FaZe. Maybe not perfect, maybe not a crushing victory for them, but a victory nonetheless, and certainly one to get them going here in the Swiss after a disappointing start.
And nice to see the first killer mechanics